The Army Painter is my favorite hobby company in the entire world. My desk is literally full of Army Painter products, and it takes me from being an average painter to putting above tabletop standard models out into the tournament scene. Not only that, but the Army Painter has sponsored more competitive play than any other hobby company in the industry. They allow us to keep doing the things that we do. If you enjoy the Army Painter as much as I do, head over to thearmypainter.com where you can use the discount code ARTOFWAR5 to get a discount on your next order.
Hello, and welcome to the Art of War. We're talking about the London Grand Tournament that happened about a week and change ago.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of watching a lot of it live on War Games Live. Thank you, Joe, for streaming that. And there are some really interesting lists, including some of the ones that won the tournament or kind of off the wall. And so we figured we would take some time to talk about those.
Absolutely. Obviously, the last one we're going to talk about is Liam VSL's list because he did win the Open and also the Invitational. Was an 8-man Invitational.
Yeah, and also it's a really fascinating list.
Yeah.
And I believe Nick just recorded a podcast on it.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know.
All right. So, with very little further ado, I say we dive right in.
Just go ahead and do that, yes.
We are not going to be live basically for the remainder of this week as Hurricane Milton is set to directly hit us.
Yeah, it is barreling straight towards us. We figured we'd do this, then we're going to go prepare houses for the hurricane.
Yeah, so we're going to do this stream, then I'm going to go home and put sandbags around my apartment.
Me too.
Let's go.
Yay. Anyways.
All right, so we're gonna head over to the screen where you can see this. And first list up is going to be Lewis Smith.
Yes.
Made top 4, I
believe he did.
Yes.
So all of these lists, just for general criteria, basically all of these are really interesting lists that we thought are kind of off the wall or are doing something different, or maybe they're taking a similar list but taking it in a different detachment than normal. And all of these went at least X and 1.
Yes.
So lists that are interesting that did pretty well.
Yeah, which there's a pretty wide spread, which speaks to 10th edition's current state of being fairly well balanced.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really telling is the fact that armies that we ranked as like middling to okay both won or got second place in the largest like tournament in England.
Yeah, which I think almost every list can.
Yeah, no, I think the game is like, so it used to be when we talk about like we have a tier list, right? Like if you're looking at a tournament, you have to, you must be this tall to ride. You must take
your army has to be at least this good in order to perform well.
Yeah. And I think you must be this tall to ride is so low that every army can compete.
Yeah. Well, I think every army's average power level is pretty good. Like we just saw GSC has been doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's considered one of the worst armies, but it can even win events. It can do stuff like that. We have yet to see agents. Nick
was the highest scorer on our team at DreamHack this
He was.
Yeah,
and
with
he
GSC.
had GSC. So very exciting times. You can basically win an event with any army. As long as you play it well.
Yes, I think that's much more important now.
That is kind of important.
Yeah, that is important.
So first up, we got Lewis Smith with Sharkageddon. So I wonder what he's got in this list.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, so he's playing Kauyon, so he's very much playing towards the later stages of the game. He's got 2 Fireblades. One has Exemplar of the Kauyon to shoot a little earlier. We got Shadow Sun. We got 2 Breacher teams and 2 Devilfish for those characters. We have Star Scythes, something I've actually become a big fan of after they shredded my entire army.
Notably, these Star Scythes have flamers.
They do. The flamers are useful, but I do prefer the burst cannons.
I get that.
Yeah. Then we have a Ghost Keel. I love the single or double Ghost Keel, just to have a little lone-op presence.
They're incredible at being a thing to go out first, because you have to go within 12 to shoot them. And then if you do, like a lot of lone ops, right? Like when we talked about Eldar, we were planning for like lone ops, but like if it's an Autarch or a Death Jester, if you run up like a tactical Marine squad and you shoot it, it'll die, right?
Tactical Marine squad is an odd choice.
Sure.
Let me say something that is directly relevant to something that happened to me like 2 days ago.
Yes.
All right. If you run a Leman Russ,
there we go. Yeah. Leman Russ
up next to a Death Jester, that Death Jester is going to sleep.
Yes.
If you run a Leman Russ up next to a Ghost Keel, it probably isn't,
because you're like T8 to up save 12 wounds
and blank
and you
two
blank
failed
2
saves,
yeah,
and stealth.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So even with rerolls to hit and multi-meltas and blah, 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 it didn't matter. I was routinely not killing them.
Now, notably, it does not shoot that hard. It does not shoot soft, but it's not like flipping land raiders by itself.
No, it shoots a lot harder in Retaliation Cadre, where it gets +1 strength and +1 AP on all of its guns, which is quite good. But in this, at least it gets sustained 2 if it's guided.
Yes.
Now, my assumption is it's going to be a very safe guider most of the time. And I do like the Ghost Keel in that role, right? Like picking away some things, holding an objective really well, and just guiding things.
It's a really great utility piece.
Yep. We have a Pathfinder unit, start in mid-board and guide a bunch of stuff. We have a single Piranha. Piranhas are insane, by the way.
They're great.
Yeah. Then we've got 3 Riptides, which is classic for Kauyon and Mont-Ka because they are ridiculous profiles. They're insanely tough.
They're just like a Ghost Keel that sacrifices some of its utility for like more raw damage.
Yes. And then we've got the classic triple stealth suit that you would be crazy not to leave home without. Wild. And finally, a Tiger Shark.
I thought they were dead, Jack. What happened?
So 2 Tiger Sharks is probably dead because they can't arrive from reserves and immediately shoot.
Yes.
But 1 is not because you can rapid ingress it and then walk up and shoot with it immediately. And especially if you're planning on Kauyon, if you are going first, you can rapid ingress it on turn 2, right? And then on bottom of turn 2, turn 3, it shows up and goes, I have sustained hits 2. And you just, I don't know, do whatever sustained hits 2 does. The price point on a Tiger Shark is
crazy
absolutely criminal.
So I keep thinking the Tiger Shark is like $450. It's not. I don't know why it's not. Like in my head, this thing costs more than like an Imperial Knight. But $275 is like
cheap.
A Land Raider.
It's like cheap.
It's a very
less
cheap.
Than
it's
a
very
Redeemer.
cheap.
It's less than a Redeemer.
Yeah.
FYI. We had 2 of them in our ATC on our ATC team.
Yeah.
And our teammate was like, hey, I have this idea, Tiger Shark. And Quentin and I immediately were like, doesn't do enough damage for its points.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. And he's like, but it's 275. We're like, it's what?
Well, I actually thought it was 200 points more than it was.
Yeah, I thought it was like 450.
Yeah, me too.
This looks pretty. It shoots really hard.
Shoots really hard.
Tau are really good, legitimately.
So you basically have to rapid ingress the Tiger Shark, which means that when you rapid ingress, your opponent can just shoot it with guns.
Yes.
But that means you're not shooting something else. The Tiger Shark is not durable, but not free to kill. It is like still like 18 wounds with high toughness.
It's toughness 11 with a 3 up and 18, I believe.
Yeah. So it's not insanely tough, but it's not free to kill. Also, you can put it like on your backboard edge, and the number of guns that actually have range that far is usually pretty limited.
Yeah. For sure.
And I believe this is played on UKTC terrain.
Yes.
So one thing about UKTC terrain is it has fairly high walls, and you do have to still physically see the Tiger Shark, right? So if you're cowering behind a wall because you're a rhino or whatever, and you don't want to get shot by a Tau army.
Maybe scared. Yeah, you're scared of the incoming Tau army.
Then maybe you can't see it. And so if you can only see it with a couple guns, and then only some of those guns have the range to shoot onto a board edge, then maybe it does survive, and then it's okay, and then it just, blows your army up.
Yeah.
Because it shoots you with 6 Seeker missiles and the force of 1,000 suns.
No, this is a pretty good army. It definitely hands your opponent a ticking clock.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Kauyon is happening and the Tiger Shark is showing up. So if you don't end the game like now, you're going to have to deal with those.
Yeah, this list is a fairly weak turn 1 and turn 2. Because it doesn't have an army roll, and it doesn't have its most important piece.
Now, the Fireblade will have it sustain 2 on turn 2, so at least you can push back a little bit with that.
Yes.
But
yeah. But like you have 1 unit, right? But like once you hit turn 3, the game is just kind of over. So this list is kind of like objective survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you gotta stop them from doing what they want to do. You gotta block them in. You gotta keep them back, and then all of a sudden, the Tiger Shark shows up and just goes.
If you have not had the pleasure of seeing a Tiger Shark in person,
it's huge.
It's like legitimately twice the size you think it is going to be. It's massive.
It is, and he took the the ion cannons, which are the ones with 1 billion shots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to number 9. We have Mark Pocock's Nurgle demons that are mono Nurgle almost.
Mono Nurgle almost. So we got Epidemius, a Great Unclean with Endless Gift. I mean, so far, so stock standard.
Yep.
We have a Great Unclean one, another Great Unclean one because they're 230 and ridiculously durable. We have two Poxbringers
Yep.
and
Rodigus.
and 2 Sloppity Bile Pipers. So this man loves his Nurgle characters. He has 3 Nurglings, 10 Plague Bearers, so 4 units.
4 units, yep.
And then a unit of 3 Plague Drones and 2 units of 3 Screamers because somebody needs to be quick, I suppose.
Yeah.
This is literally, he has 5 big Nurgle idiots. Sorry, 4 big Nurgle idiots.
Yep.
And 40 dudes, some of which have a 4-pin Vuln, sticky objectives, OC2.
Yeah. So this list is like just trying to be thick in the middle. It like doesn't hit that hard. It can hit harder than you'd expect.
Yes, if you walk right into it and say,
it'll hurt.
you're Nurgle, I will take no damage. They'll be like, flame, 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 you're -3 toughness, I'm +1 damage into you, and suddenly your Land Raider's toughness 9.
Yeah.
And then they're punching it to death.
So I believe it's a squad with Epidemius is like sustained lethal 5s, and then it goes to like damage 2 or something. Like you can there's a bunch of like hidden buff stacking in this army that makes like random nonsense attacks like lethal hits, reroll 1, sustained hits, critical 5s kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's the kind of army where you see a bunch of big idiots that don't hit that hard on every objective, and you're like, all right, boys, we're getting in there. It's time to go. And you just like send your army, and he goes, all right, well, now that you're next to me, you're -2 toughness, which affects this breakpoint, and then +1 damage, and we're going to get in there. We're going to be lethal sustained 5s, and suddenly, Nurgle dudes, Plague Bears are just stabbing.
Yeah,
you.
they start off base at like 2 attacks at like 401 or something like that.
Yeah.
But they actually like, they're not going to like, kill God, but they will hurt. Because the damage theory behind this list is not that like a lot of armies need 1 turn to kill you, right? Like the Bringers list I just brought to DreamHack. If it gets a turn of good activations, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah.
This list is not trying to do that. It's trying to say if I get 3 or 4 turns sustained activations, you're dead. And it has the staying power to actually deliver that 4 turns.
Yeah, I think it's super, super interesting.
Yeah. Also, a red and clean one in Epidemia, or not Epidemia, it's Rodigus on an objective is like OC 8 or 10, I forget which one, and also makes you half OC.
They're 5 each.
I think they're 5, yeah. So
they're 5 each, and they make you half.
Yeah, so good luck taking that back.
Yeah, especially if he's got like Plague Bears.
Yeah.
And he'll sticky it, so you have to beat them, not tie them.
Yeah,
It's a whole thing.
It's ugly all the way down.
It's a whole thing. Also, the entire army is a 6-up, feel no pain, because you're a great unclean one. It's just a little more durable than you want it to be. So it hits a little harder than you want it to.
Basically, every Nurgle thing in this list has like if nearby demons or Nurgle do X, and all of those things together are a lot more than the like individual minor buffs you get.
Yeah. All right, we got some super chats. We got Ricky Chow, member for 9 months, says, please be safe and check in when you can. Luckily, we are not on the coast. Otherwise, we would be evacuating.
Yeah, we're pretty far inland. So
we're
we should be okay.
In the Orlando area, so we should be all right. It'll just be
a really bad storm.
It'll be a really bad storm.
We might lose power for a couple days, so we're just kind of bracing for that, getting water and things like that.
Ryan G, $5 super chat, says, I really wish Eldar Void Reavers were cheaper. Wish we'd see them more. They have some cool guns. Also, Tiger Shark cheaper than Gulliman. Yes, Tiger Shark is cheaper than Gulliman.
So I keep looking at Void Reavers, and I'm like, man, you get all this cool stuff. You can get like a blaster and a sniper rifle and a guy who's good in combat and a wraith cannon. And then I look at their points cost, and I'm like, man, I'm paying 180 points for a blaster and a sniper rifle and a wraith cannon.
Yeah, it's not the best.
On elves that are on foot.
You really do want to do the Corsair army.
I really do. Yeah.
All right, next list up, we've got Johnny Simmons playing Skitarii Hunter Cohort AdMech.
I wonder what this list does, Jack.
Skitarii Hunter Cohort is just the way to play AdMech, really.
Yes, yeah.
I'm sure there's other fun and interesting and unique ways you can do it, but Skitarii Hunter Cohort gives you them rules.
Yes.
It gives you them on the good units.
Gives good rules, yes.
So we've got 3 marshals. One of them firing fades probably back into a transport because that's pretty dumb.
One hands out both
Conqueror and Protector.
Yes, which is really good now.
It's quite good. That's 6 buffs contained in those. Let me see if I can get them right. Okay, so if you have both Conqueror and Protector, you have +1 ballistic skill, +1 weapon skill. You have +1 AP to all of your weapons as long as you are within 6 inches of battle line. You are -1 to be hit in combat, and your weapons have assault and heavy.
Yes.
stupid.
That's pretty good.
That's really good. It's really good.
We just talked about how the Nurgle demons can take terrible attacks and make them pretty good. That does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've got 1 unit of Rangers, 2 units of Rangers, 1 unit of Vanguard, 2 units of Vanguard, 3 units of Vanguard, and 2 Dune Riders. Dune Riders are ridiculous.
They're crazy.
They're 10 more points than a Rhino. In exchange, they are, I think, exactly as tough as a Rhino. They might have an extra wound or 2.
Yeah.
But what they have is a 16-shot sustained hits twin-linked gun.
Yeah, this gun is wild.
And if they shoot it at you, the unit that got out of it gets
Rerolls
reroll wounds.
Yeah.
And then the Marshal makes them reroll hits, and then Cantic Thrallnet, or not, Cantic Thrall, Battleseer Uplink gets them back in the transport.
Yeah, this unit is actually, you're like, oh, it's an arc rifle. Oh God, I took 6 mortals.
Yeah, Siegs would always talk about, well, I fired 3 arc rifles, so his Land Raider was at 3 wounds. It's like, oh God.
Well, real hits and wounds, anti-vehicle 4+ dev wounds.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Chat says 18
Sorry,
shots.
18? 18?
It's 1 shot for every wound the Triumph has.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll get her.
Eventually.
They'll get her.
Dude,
damn, I did forget. I thought it was 16. Oh my God.
If you like AdMech and you want to see this Scorpius Dune Rider in action, there's a game where Siegs is playing into my Drukhari. And if you want to see it activate many times in many different ways and kill many different elves, you can check out that game in the War Room. It's the warroom.vhx.tv. There's a free trial. 3-day free trial. There we go.
3-day free trial.
There's a link below in the description.
Yeah, so 18 shots is ridiculous, and that adds up really fast, especially with sustained and twin linked. Siegs also loves overwatching them, and if you want to see Quentin's soul break, you'll just watch him overwatch like 4 times and shred units every time. He'll just be like, oh, I rolled 8 6s. How did this happen? Anyway, that Scourge unit is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we got a unit of Iron Striders with the las cannons. Getting an extra shot really helped.
It did, yeah.
Really helped. They went from 1-shot twin link to 2 shots, which is much better.
Yep.
And then Cataphront Breachers. I like the Breachers quite a bit. Their gun's actually ridiculous.
I like 1 unit of Breachers because I like... The problem with an army like Dude Spam is you basically present your opponent with the fact that they will lose the game if nothing changes. So they go, cool, so my one option is just to rush you. And then, like, that can work or it cannot work, but the game is very volatile.
Yes.
And if you have a unit of Breachers, you can be like, I have a giant cannon pointed in your direction. So not only am I going to win on primary, because I have 8 trillion dudes that are all OC2 and move 1,000,000 inches and make you minus OC, but if you come out, I'm going to shoot you to death.
Yes. The Cataphront Breachers hit really, really hard.
Really hard.
Within 15 inches, to be sure, but, like, it's pretty easy to give them assault on their weapons because you have the Cantic Thrallnet. You can just be like, here you go, chief. And so you give them assault and +1 ballistic skill and +1 AP, and it's ridiculous. Then you have Skystalkers. Siegs loves those. We've got a unit of 10 sterilizers to really roast objectives up, infiltrators, and 10 Ruststalkers. This list seems pretty damn good. It does not have the Scorpius Disintegrators.
I like the Disintegrators.
I like the Disintegrators a lot. I probably like them more than the Breachers. Breachers are 320. Just 2 Disintegrators is 350.
Yeah.
Like the Iron Striders and the Breachers together are 530. I would probably take how many points is that? It's 350, 525. It's almost exactly the same as 3 Disintegrators. So that's probably the change I would make. But then it's very similar to the list Siegs ran.
Yeah.
Legitimately, and it's very good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the amount of primary control in this army is insane.
Yeah.
Because you have so many guys, and they're all OC2.
Yep, and they can be lone op 18.
And they're all
stealth.
kind of durable.
They're all kind of durable. They're really annoying. Like, it's just a good army. AdMech's really good right now.
It's a really good army.
Yeah. All right, we got Andy Quaz Cohen.
With Necrons Hypercrypt.
Necron Hypercrypt, and we're starting out with the Nightbringer, the coolest stabby boy. 2 Hexmark Destroyers, 3 Hexmark Destroyers, and the Silent King.
The Galactopie.
Yes, 3 Galactopie. We got the Silent King. We've got a Spider. We've got a Deathmark. We've got 2.
Can we just take a minute and praise the Canoptic Spider for being the
insanely
absolutely ridiculous unit that it is?
Why does it? So for when we took triple Tesseract Vault to ATC.
Yeah.
And the person, like Quentin and I wrote the army.
Yeah.
And we were presenting it to the person. We were like, hey, we think this army's good. We think you should run it. And the guy was like, oh, but what aura do I pick on the spiders? And we were like, you get both.
Yeah.
You get both.
Yeah.
Oh, can't take thrall at the breachers because they're not Skitarii. Yeah, there's a keyword fiesta in that army.
There really is.
So
It's the old holdover from the fact that it's actually 2 armies in the trench coat.
yeah,
I don't know why they kept that, but they did.
yes. So just so you can't do that to the breachers, but it is pretty easy to select the one that you want.
Yeah.
Although they might, do they get it? I don't know. There's a lot of weird, finicky little tiny edge case rules in AdMech, and AdMech players will know.
Yes. Ask Siegs.
Yes, Siegs would know. So double Doomsday Arc, unit of flayed ones, a solo destroyer, a solo heavy destroyer, and a Tesseract Vault. And the Tesseract Vault is ridiculous.
Yeah, so one of its big issues is the fact that it like can't move because it's gigantinormous.
It is bigger than you think it will be.
Yes. Like imagine a big model and then make it bigger and then it's bigger than that.
It's 10 inches on each side.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a square that is 10 inches big.
So you can't really move it, but you know what you can do?
You can teleport.
You can teleport it.
In Hypercrypt Legion,
3
you can
inches away,
teleport.
yeah.
And it does shoot really hard.
It's also like invincible.
Yeah.
These things are like a pain to kill.
It's like 24 wounds, I think.
Yeah, it's like toughness 12 with 2 up, 4 up, and a 6 up, feeling the pain.
Yes.
And then it heals. Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah. In the build that we had, we made it -1 damage.
Yeah. What a dumb list.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's good, right? It shoots you with the Silent King 2 Doomsday Arcs with Silent King buffs and a Tesseract Vault, and then has the Nightbringer to hold ground.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good.
No, it's really,
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Stephen Box's
Stephen
Army
Box?
of Faith Sisters, which you're going to have to tell me what this does. Because
Okay.
I know Bringers of Flame pretty damn well at this point.
So Bringers of Flame, lets you advance and shoot. This is not Bringers of Flame, which basically every other Sisters listed LGT that I saw was Bringers of Flame. So Bringers of Flame was advance and shoot. This does not. So instead, you get 2 Miracle Dice. And the stratagems I actually think are better.
Okay.
So Bringers of Flame as a whole has like a few good stratagems. But like I tend to use 2 or 3 of them in a game. I rarely use the other 3. In this one, you probably use like all 6.
Okay.
So basically what you get is you get the good strats and then you get 2 Miracle Dice and then you get additional ways of generating them. So the stratagems are basically, they're all keyed off like jump pack girls. So there's a whole bunch of stuff where you can give your jump pack infantry like really cool auras. Like it's -1 to hit for like your whole army. So the way all the strats work is you can either pick 1 unit or 1 jump pack unit. And then the jump pack unit, if you pick that unit, becomes an aura for your whole army. So like if there's a wall and you string out like 5 or 10 Seraphim behind that wall and you have all your tanks within 3 inches of the wall and they shoot one of your tanks, you're like, cool, 1 CP, all my tanks are -1 to hit. Or 1 CP, all my tanks ignore hit mods.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty cool, yeah. Or 1 CP, all my tanks have a field of pain against mortal wounds.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So, yeah, it's got interesting stuff. I know Nick was talking to me about how you have all these combos for using 2 Miracle Dice where you can automatically hit and automatically wound or whatever.
You can automatically make a 12-inch charge.
Yes, because you can put both dice in.
Yep.
You can automatically wound and automatically 8 damage.
Yep, that's pretty
which
good.
is pretty good. Because a lot of the time you're like, all right, I got 1 hit. All right, 8 damage.
Yeah. And then this strat has a lot of ways of making, making like jump infantry better. Like there's some, I forget exactly what they are, but there's like a +1 to wound strat, I think, for like Zephyr.
So we got a Canoness with Litanies of Faith. We got Junith Eruida, who gives an extra CP to use all these strats.
Yep.
We got Morven Vol. She's insane. We got Saint Celestine, the Triumph.
Jump pack keyword.
Yeah.
So all the strats key off her.
Yes. We got an Immolator, a unit of Arcoflagellants, 3 Castigators with the autocannons. I mean, that's just, yeah. We've got a squad of Dominions. We've got 2 squads of Paragons. Mm-hmm. And we've got 2 squads of 5 Seraphim. It's a lot of pain.
Yes.
A lot of pain. Mm-hmm. And a lot of tricks.
Yeah, I mean, like, basically, I think the Paragons are one of the units that likes double Miracle Dice the most. I know other lists can get double Miracle Dice. Unfortunately, if you take the Triumph and put her in the double Miracle Dice aura, you don't get 3 because they each say you can use 2.
Yes.
It's not that you get +1. That'd be cool if you could use 3.
Seems like the FAQ says you can't put 2 Miracle Dice in the same roll.
Oh, that's sad.
So, but what you could do, and what Nick has done, is you use it for the first one. If you fail it, you re-roll it, and you put a 1 in for the second charge.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I think they changed that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things. Anyways, the Paragons like double Miracle Dice because you can like use 2 saves, or you can do what you're saying where you wound and then do damage, Or more likely, if you get 2 through, you can double the damage, where you go take 14 damage.
Hi, Land Raider. I see you have failed 2 Melta saves.
Take 16.
No, Mr. Land Raider, I expect you to die.
Yeah, no, he's I did that at not BFS, DreamHack this weekend.
Oh, you used double miracle dice off of the Triumph, and then you were like 16 damage?
Yeah, there was a Dread Knight, full health. It failed 2 saves, and I was like, goodbye.
I don't like any of
that.
that.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it seems really good. All right, we've got Nicholas Galetti playing Champions of Russ, which is a detachment I actually think is really good and very underused.
This one's here for you, Jack. Why don't you tell us what it does?
Okay, so Champions of Russ was useless, like completely useless. It didn't function.
It was like garbage bad.
Yeah, it had good rules, but they were locked behind things that you had to unlock during the game, and it was just... It just felt like trying to surf a river of bricks, right? It was just like, it just never got going. It never did what it needed to do.
It was like you get a cool rule on turn 4, maybe?
Well, like the strat that gets you into combat, Advance and Charge, relies on you already having killed a character with a character.
Yeah, I was so annoying. I ran it a couple times where it was like, oh, my character swings. Oh, I left you on 1 wound and my unit finishes you off. I don't get the... Or, oh, swing up the unit first, weaken you. Oh, they accidentally killed you. I don't get the ability.
Yeah, so they changed it so you get 1 at the start of the game. You can't take Saga of Majesty, which is fine. I don't even think that would be the one I pick. Yeah. Although it is interesting, to be clear. The one you pick Saga of the Warrior Born. I don't know if that's what Nicholas did here, but I would assume so.
Yeah.
Saga of the Warrior Born is one of the hardest to unlock. Mm-hmm. It is kill a character with a character.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, so when you start the game with that unlocked, you get sustained hits for your whole army, which is a pretty decent army rule.
Yeah.
Or detachment rule. And then the stratagem that gives you fallback in charge also gives you advance in charge now. So now you have 1 CP advance in charge.
Sustained hits on your army is like a really good rule on an army that wants to be in combat with all of its stuff.
Yes, but it's more than that. Mm-hmm. Because the rest of the deeds or whatever that you need to unlock key off of you actually like getting to your opponent.
Yeah.
So before you get advanced in charge after you've already fought your opponent a couple times.
Yeah, usually
that's stupid.
Yeah.
But now you have it, which allows you to turn on Saga of the Beast Slayer by killing a vehicle or monster. It lets you turn on
Saga of the Bear.
Saga of the Bear by having one of your units, actually take damage back because it's in position to do things. It lets you turn on Saga of Majesty because you rapid ingress, advanced in charge, took your opponent's home objective, right? It lets you actually turn on the remaining effects. So instead of like turning on your first effect on turn 4, you have your first one on turn 1, turn your second one on turn 1 or 2, turn your third one on turn 2 or 3, and now suddenly the army is rolling.
Yeah.
And it gets like sustained hits, lethal hits, 6 of Feel No Pain, let's go, +1 OC. And the strats are really, really good. And the characters are really good. So I'm super excited for...
Why don't you talk about your best boy there?
So Bjorn the Fell-Handed is a ridiculous unit. He is 180 points for a Catan that has 8 wounds instead of 12.
And a 2-up save.
But a 2-up save.
Doesn't heal, but is a 12-inch aura effect. Yeah. Also, like,
and much cheaper.
Much cheaper.
Like 100 points cheaper.
Also doesn't hit that hard. Doesn't hit soft in combat and kind of shoots.
No, he's 6 attacks, if I remember correctly, at 12, 2, 3 lethal hits base.
Yeah.
I actually played this army.
Yeah.
So Bjorn's best boy, and he did the exact same thing that I do with it, which is Hellfrost Cannon Heavy Flamer. Mm-hmm. So you have two flamers, basically. One is 6-1-2, the other is 5-1-1, and you can actually flame stuff off the board. Because otherwise you're taking like a single last chance, like whatever. I don't care. But yeah, he's great. He's also incredibly easy to be a character that is left alive at below half strength.
Oh, yeah.
And then you turn on Saga of the Bear.
He's also tiny.
He is also itty bitty.
So he slots there. One thing we talked a lot about with Bjorn is that, like, if you have a Calidus Assassin or Cypher, and they're like, haha, your whole army at the start of your shooting phase is within range of my Calidus Assassin. You may not use your abilities. This is my villain mustache.
Yeah, twirling.
My villain mustache. Anyways, and they're like, oh no, what shall I do? I will shoot my 1 rhino at you. You're dead now, Calidus Assassin. I will use my strats for free. Bjorn is like, haha, I take your whole army shooting phase and I'm still alive.
Yeah, and he's not like unthreatening, but he's not that threatening.
No.
Which means you're like, well, am I going to kill this incredibly tough to kill unit that isn't like threatening to table me right now? Or am I going to kill all the nasty wasty melee units? I'm going to shoot the nasty wasty melee units, and then just Vect just looms over you like a dark cloud the entire game. The Lord of Deceit or whatever.
Yeah, there's another game in the war where you and I play, and Bjorn just like do. It was like all your phantasms, all your lightning fasts, all your -1 to hits, they are all extra CP now. Would you like to fire and fade for C3 CP? Oh no, okay.
Would you like to divert a ton of resources to killing Bjorn? You can do it. You can do it. Would you like to do that? No. Okay. Spend 2 CP on Phantasm.
Yep.
Yeah, Bjorn's insane. He's nuts.
Okay.
For 180.
I have a confession to make.
Yes.
Logan Grimnar on Stormrider makes me angry.
Makes you angry?
Angry.
That's an interesting.
I just feel like, okay, so like I told you before, like I have, like some models feel like they should be good and some models feel like they should be bad. Like a Cursed Cultist in my heart should be bad. Like I know they're good. I know
they've always been good.
I know what the rules have been, but like
in your heart, you're like, surely no.
Okay, like Felgor Beastmen should be bad.
Yeah, those aren't whatever. Okay, I understand it's about what's in your heart.
A Cursed Cultist and Felgor Beastmen in my heart are in the same
Santa
pile.
on his sleigh
should be in that pile.
Okay, well he's not.
He's really good.
He's not. He's pretty good. He is 12 wounds with a 2-up, 4-up at 180. He can also join Thundercav.
Yeah, his axe is like damage 3 with 1 billion attacks. Like he's really good.
6 attacks. He doesn't hit that hard.
Yeah.
But what he does do is he gets you CP every time he kills a unit.
Yep.
And once a game, he does something that 10th edition doesn't really do, which is he just gives your entire army, claps his hands, and your entire army rerolls charges and hits in melee for that turn.
That's a really good buff.
It's insane. It's the reason you see him. If he didn't have that ability, he's actually like quite poor as a character. Mm-hmm. But with that ability, just being once a game, my army just turbocharges. It's nuts. My
favorite Space Wolf story from my brief saga was I was playing John's Tyranids. And John put a bunch of spore mines in my backfield. And so I deep struck Logan Grimnar and I shot him with the Storm Bolter and I got like 4 CP off the spore mines.
The score mines.
The score mines. John was mad.
He's pretty decent if you join him to a unit of Thundercav because they give him +1 damage and his sweep attack becomes really, really good because it doubles its damage.
Yeah.
Grimnar is just pretty good.
He's pretty solid
for that ability. You can also take him on foot and put him in some Wolfguard Terminators. They're actually pretty good.
He's also not bad as like a solo character to rapid ingress.
I've been very unimpressed by him as a solo character, but him in a unit I've liked.
Okay.
Yeah. Him as a solo character, I had him go in, fail to kill a Blood Crusher, and died back.
That's fair.
It was rough. And like looking at the math, you're like, yeah, that can just happen.
I mean, I guess my thought is he goes in and he kills like a Plasmancer and then 1 Immortal.
I kind of want my 100-point character to do a little.
Okay, well, at the same time, he's clapping his hands and giving your whole army real hits and real charges.
I like him on Stormrider because he slots in very neatly with Thundercav, and I like him on foot in a unit. But either way, he's really good because of that buff. Ragnar is banana crazy. He's so good. He's one of the best melee characters.
I think you would take him, and if like Deathwing Knights and Sanguinary Guard didn't exist, you'd take Ragnar on like every list. Yeah. Like if other chapters, distinct units were not better than him, you would take him in every space.
Yeah, he's a very good melee character. Let me put it this way: his whole shtick is he gives his unit advance and charge.
Yeah,
and he's good enough that I take him in Stormlance, where that is just a thing your army can do anyway.
Yep,
because he hits hard.
What is it's like 10 attacks.
So he's 8 attacks at 632 sustained hits. But on the charge, he goes up to 10 attacks at 832 sustained hits.
Yeah, he's like, hits crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. I love him in, people love putting him in Assault Intercessors. I think that's what's happening here. Mm-hmm. I personally like him in a unit of Blade Guard.
Yep.
Because in Blade Guard, he actually can live to hit again and again and again. Whereas in Assault Intercessors, he kind of gets killed. But he's much more expensive in that. So it's a personal thing. Ragnar's nuts. You definitely take him. And then you got Wolflord on Thunderwolf with Black Death. So Thunderhammer. Black Death gives you anti-monster vehicle 4+.
Oh no, does that Thunderhammer have Dev Wounds, Jack?
It sure does.
Oh gosh.
But
it's only 2 damage though, right?
No, it's actually damage 3. So this dude bangs. I personally prefer Black Death on a Captain on Foot. Yeah. Because that dude gets like 9 attacks. Because
you finest hour him.
you give him a power weapon, you Finest Hour, he has 9 attacks with sustained hits and rerolls to wound an anti-monster vehicle 4+ and dev wounds, and I've legitimately had him kill Land Raiders.
Yeah, it's not even that crazy.
No, it's actually not. But you're taking Black Death somewhere. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And on a Thunderwolf, on a Thunderlord is one of the better places to do it.
Yes.
This is actually fewer characters than I was expecting, to be quite honest with you. But the rest of the list's got to have that beef to make up for it.
Because a lot of the strats and the abilities key off characters.
Yes. I also really like... I mean, so here's the thing, right? Ragnar or the Wolf Lord or Bjorn are actually quite good at triggering Saga of the Beast Slayer.
Yeah.
Bjorn is pretty dang good at triggering Saga of the Bear. Same thing with the Wolf Lord, and Logan Grimnar as well. It's pretty easy to leave him alive at 4. Oops, 6 up in Feel No Pain. I personally like having more characters, but I get it. Ulrich the Slayer also
quite good.
slams in a unit of Wolfguard. But we've got a unit of Assault Intercessors. We got a unit of regular Intercessors.
Which
so that's
backfield sticking.
definitely where, they're sitting in the backfield.
Yep.
We got a unit of Outriders, a second unit of Outriders, a Repulsor Executioner. This really went in a different direction than I was expecting. 2 Scout Squads and 2 units of 6 Thunderwolf Cavalry. And then 20 Wolfen.
Can the Wolfen go in the Repulsor?
I don't think so. The Repulsor Executioner only has 6 anyway.
So then it's almost certainly where Ragnar and his friends are going.
Oh, in the Repulsor? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably Ragnar and friends in the Repulsor.
Yeah. I mean, this list hits a lot harder than you'd expect, and a lot of it advances and charges.
It hits really hard.
Really hard.
When it turns on its abilities. And he has taken less melee than I did in the Sons of Russ or Champions of Rust detachment, but he is taking more shooting.
Yeah, the Outriders are a really interesting pick.
Yeah, he's taking more Thunderwolf Cav. He's taking a full Thunder Cav army. This is basically Wolf Jail, but just not in Stormlands.
It's Wolf Jail, but it hits a lot harder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I quite like it. I think it's pretty good. Also, they have 1 CP plus 1 AP, which solves a lot of Thunder Cav's problems.
Thunder Cav only being AP 1 is like, oh no, you have a 2-up save in Armor Contempt.
Yes. So also it's pretty easy to turn on lethals. It's pretty easy to get plus 1 AP and plus 1 to wounds. Right? Got really, really good buffs. We got Ryan G with the $2 super chat saying Bjorn the Bro-handed.
Definitely.
That's true. God, I'm gonna go home and write a Champions of Rust list.
I'm sure you are.
The army's just cool, man. I don't know what to tell you. All right, we got Josie Cartwright with another army that I play.
The Jack Pack.
The Jack Pack.
I wonder what's in this one, Jack.
It's could be anything, really. It's not referring to me. It's referring to Jackals. We got World Eaters here. So Josie went X and 1, I believe, with this.
Yes, everyone on this list went X and 1 at least.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got a Demon Prince on foot with half damage. That's Helm of Brazen Ire.
Yep.
So this, with a 6-up Feel No Pain, is basically a mini Catan that hits harder and is cheaper and gives out a now 5-up invuln to Jackals nearby, not a 4-up.
You know what we should do for our next tier list? This is super off topic. We should do a tier list of everything that people compare things to. So it's basically a Rhino or it's basically a Catan. Right? Never mind. Moving on.
Wildly too meta.
Yeah.
We should do a tier list of tiers. Top 10 tiers.
S tier?
Yes. All right. We've got Angron, who is the best boy, and Invocatus to give Scout. I mean, you're just taking Invo.
Yeah.
Invo's also really good by themselves, although I believe that there's a unit of Exalted that probably has Invocatus attached.
Yeah.
But maybe doesn't. We've got 100 and I'm going to save you the counting. 110 Jackals.
And the spawn.
And 3 units of spawn. Very tough to chew through. 1 Forge Fiend, 1 Exalted 8-bound unit. And this is this is 1990, which means that the Forge Fiend could become more Exalted.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But obviously did well.
I mean,
the way this is built.
Jackals are OC 2, right?
Yes.
This is a 220 OC that are running at you with a 5-up invuln and a 6-up Feel No Pain.
A 5-up Feel No Pain.
5-up, oh gosh.
Because they have a 6-up base.
Yeah.
So they get a 5-up for free, basically.
And they will sandblast every foot infantry on the table. Aspect Warriors and Vanguard will die.
Sure, that's not every foot infantry on the table, Quinn.
I mean, they'll eventually get intercessors and stuff. There's 110 of them.
Yeah. Eventually they'll get intercessors. I'm more thinking of Deathwing Knights.
I feel like Deathwing Knights are surrounded by 100. They don't know the attacks to kill them all.
Don't they?
Not like quickly.
It's like 25 attacks that hit on 2s and wound on 2s and are 2 damage.
Okay, trade-off where you get primary turn 5. I get primaries turn 2 through 4.
Well, if that's how it works, then yeah, you are in fact screwed. But
Yes.
I think there are some armies that can chew through this really quickly, but if you're not ready for it, you are done.
I think this is very much a like stat checklist dependency.
I think you will also. I know you see world eaters and you assume 20-man units will do damage. They don't.
Yeah,
They just don't.
that's what Angron's for.
True. And you'll reroll a bunch of Blood God dice because you have jackals on you have jackals on objectives, which is really good. But yeah, no, jackals don't do a lot of damage. This is definitely like a prison list trying to keep you back, trying to hold it primary for a while. And then you have some units that can do damage. Realistically, you have 2. You have the Exalted 8-bound and you have Angron.
Yeah.
And if you can't get through them in time, have fun losing.
It's definitely out there.
Yes.
It is one of the lists of all time.
It worked. It
I mean,
freaking
X1
worked.
at LGT is really good.
Yeah, it's really good. It worked. Again, if you're not like, this shows the advantage of coming in from a very weird direction, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're not ready for this,
You're just not ready for it.
You're just not ready for
it. I would say 30% of the list in the game flat out cannot handle this at all. Like they can't even begin to start.
Again, I agree with Jesus that in the chat that jackals actually don't do anything.
That's true. But like it's a lot of OC and they're kind of tough and you're
Yes.
losing some stuff to Angron and the Demon Prince and the 8-bound, right?
Yes. Now the one thing I is interesting is it does give up a full 25 on Call the Horde.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So I'd be interested. I mean, like, yeah, it's interesting. Again, if you're not ready for it, and a lot of people are bringing like vehicles, that sort of stuff, and if you have las cannons, that's need not apply.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah.
Jackals are OC1. Oh my god.
Surely not.
Listen,
Surely
I
not.
play this army, but I will tell you the Jackals are a 10-man unit that sits on my home objective and stickies it, and that is all that they do. And I look up their relevant stats when it becomes necessary.
Wow, they're OC1.
They're also toughness 3. I did remember that.
They're
Yes.
OC1. I really thought they were OC2.
Yeah.
What was
yeah,
me?
that's it is like a green tide list that is toughness 3 instead of toughness 5.
Are they battle line?
They're battle line.
Why are they OC1 battle line? What is this?
They're too busy killing.
Okay, that makes me feel
Yeah,
weird.
forgot they're OC1, but yeah, no, they are OC1, and they're also toughness 3. As I said, this is green tide that instead of having strats doesn't have strats, and is toughness 3 instead of toughness 5.
Yeah, but you get Angron.
You do get Angron.
Anyway.
And he uses strats, I'll tell you that much for free.
Well, congratulations to Josie.
Yeah, well done.
Very well done.
Very well done. All right, next up we got Brian Sipe.
Brian Sipe.
Brian Sipe who ended up getting second place. So
losing
well done.
to Liam VSL in the finals.
Oh, by the way, also don't look at Jackal's melee weapon profiles. They will disappoint you.
Okay, so I had a squad of them get in combat with a squad of 3 Dominions and lost that combat.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. You had an armor save.
They like didn't kill me and then I shot them to death with the bolt pistols.
Dude, 1 unit, hold your home field objective. Spawn wouldn't have lost that combat. I promise you. Spawn wouldn't have lost it, and Josie had 3 units of Spawn. And Spawn's all you need, really.
Best unit in the game.
Yeah, I stand by it.
Stand by that, yeah.
If we did a top 10, a tier list of top 10 just units,
yeah,
and World Eater's Chaos Spawn was number 1.
it was.
It was not like number 1 is in like unit that can do the most damage. Just it was one of the it is the best skirmish unit in the entire game.
Yeah,
by like a country mile.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, using go to ground to give 4-up invulns to jackals, that is very interesting.
Does that work?
Yes. So the way that the Demon Prince rule works is that if you have an invuln, it gives you a 4-up invuln. If you don't have an invuln, it gives you a 5-up. So you go to ground, you get a 6-up invuln. Boom, you have a 4-up now.
That's really creative.
That is very creative. That is super cool.
Oh, wow.
It means 1 unit is quite durable.
Good on. That's a really cool trick.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, good for her.
It is.
Yeah.
All right. Brian. We've got Gazgul Tharaka, because he hits really hard. And what else do you need? Also gives out lethal hits.
Big claw, yeah.
This is Warhorde, which is the
I
one
think it's
I
the
like
best
to
one,
run
yeah,
as well. Yeah. We got a Beast Boss, because Beast Boss is Salam. We got 2 big mechs. And we've got 3 war bosses. You got a big unit of 10 Beast Snagga boys, 2 units of 20 boys, and then 2 units of 5 Burner boys, 2 units of Gretchen, 2 Mega Knobs, 5 Knobs, 2 Battle Wagons, and 2 Trucks.
So you like the battle wagons?
I do.
Yeah. So basically, you take the 20 boys, you put them in the battle wagons, and those things do kind of hit. Yeah. I mean, we just talked about the power of like big units with OC. The boys are probably are they tougher than Jackals?
They're toughness 5, dude.
Yeah, but like you only have the invuln during 1 turn. You don't feel the pain.
Yeah, they're tougher than Jackals.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is all the bolters just like
That's true. They killed the Jackals.
you like fire 10 bolters, you kill like 4 Jackals or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
You fire 10 bolters, you're lucky if you kill
an orc. Yeah.
Jackals, you don't get a 6-up feel no pain for going to ground. You get a 6-up invuln for going to ground, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 6-up invuln goes to a 4-up invuln, and you have your 5-up feel no pain.
Yes.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm
paying attention to you.
That's right. I'm paying attention to you.
I mean, if you want to see how this list operates, you can check out War Games Live. Streamed a bunch of games with it, including a really interesting finals game between this and Liam VSL's list.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of units, so you have to use them properly. But Brian did that.
I mean, like if you really break it down, right? You have 1 squad of knobs, right? You have 2 squads of orc boys. You have Gazgul and like that's basically transports and Gretchen.
Yeah, so
boys?
You have 4 units that hit.
Yeah.
Right. You have the 2 boy units, you have the knob units, and you have Gazgul. Then after that, you have the 2 battle wagons, which don't like not hit, and also get every enhancement, every upgrade in the game.
Yeah.
It's not it looks like it's a pick one of 3, and you just get to pick all 3.
Battle wagons. Single biggest beneficiary from Wargear being free.
What is it with you in these impromptu ersatz tier lists?
I got up early this morning to do hurricane prep. I'm very tired right now.
Yeah, I know. I also wasn't expecting to be here today. All right. But Brian did very, very well with this list. He got second. And this is not a list that you can just easily like run to an event. You have to be very precise with where you...
I think it's really telling that both this and Liam VSL's lists are like weird off-the-wall things that work for like the player playing them and nobody else.
Yep.
Like... Okay, Liam won LGT last year. I believe that you could take his list, put it into like BCP for your next event, and do pretty well with it.
You do all right. It was a solid list.
It was a solid list that did things basically. I don't think that any like a person with limited season experience could take his LGT winning list, put it in BCP, and expect to go.
Oh, you mean last year's LGT?
Like last year's list.
Last year's LGT list, his list was like broken.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like it had a contender for being best army in the game for sure.
It probably was.
It might have been. It was either that or broken
Wraithguard.
What? No, Wraithguard, triple Night Spinner Eldar.
Yeah, but I mean, like I think that was better than Night Spinner Eldar.
I mean, of course you do, Eldar boy.
Sorry, my point is that I think that like last year. You could just kind of copy and paste his list and expect to do pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't think you could do that with Brian or Liam's list this year.
No, I don't think so at all.
I think I think like 95% of the reason for their success was because they're both just fantastic players.
Yeah, 100%.
I think basically every person on this list and everyone who did well at LGT did well because they're a very good player, not because their list is inherently super broken.
Yeah. And there are combos here. Gazgul gives lethal hits.
Yep.
And then that means that the boys have sustained hits and lethal hits and crit 5s.
Yeah.
And with a war boss, they do in fact just carve through things.
Yeah.
So that is pretty neat, right? Like you can just have a unit run in and easily kill a Catan. Sorry, there is a 5th unit that does damage.
Oh, the Beast
Snagga Boy is supposed to be Beast Boss.
Yeah.
It's very like
hidden.
It's very hidden in there, but yes, no, there is a 3rd unit. The Beast Boss does ridiculous.
He's crazy for 80 points.
I love him. I want 3.
I agree.
Gibby 3.
Yeah.
Also, they reroll hits against monsters and vehicles, so this is the unit that you send in against Catan.
Yes.
Because they just go in lethal, sustain 5s, reroll hits.
Yeah, you kill it. I mean, also the boys would do it.
They also wound Catan on 5s instead of 6s.
Yeah, that's fair. The boys actually have an issue into Catan. It's like Catan are on teeny wee little bases. So the number of boys you can actually get to fight the Nightbringer is quite small.
Yeah. So the Beast Snagga boys are amazing at killing Catan because they not only wound them on 5s, but they're lethal, sustained 5s, and full rerolls to hit.
Yeah.
You just go and kill them. They're really good. I love that Beast Boss, Beast Boy unit. Beast Snagga's always got my vote. All right, next up we got Innes Wilson.
Yes.
All right.
This is a list that is very strange. And I promise you, if you have not played against it, it does not look that good. But if you have played against it, it is terrifying.
He said, you know what it all does, right? That's its
name.
I will say this is definitely a list that once you've played against it, your win rate into it goes up significantly.
Yeah, there's a not to show the war room again, but there's a game on stream where I play into Nick running this. And the first 3 turns, I was like, oh my God, what is happening? And then turn 4 and 5, I figured out what's happening. I know how to beat these guys.
Yeah. And that's in the war room right now. You can go check it out if you want to go see Nick booty blasting you.
Yeah, that's a good way of
It's a real good first 3 turns.
I love how all of the games that I'm shilling are just me getting obliterated.
Yeah, there were some Tyranid players. I mean, there's like 1,000 people at this event, so there were definitely some Tyranid players there. Okay. We've got 3 Kellermorphs who are bananas.
Yep.
Love Kellermorphs. They move when you get close to them, then they shoot you. They move if you get within 12, and they're alone up, and they're cheap.
And they're so annoying.
Reductus Saboteur, and then a bunch of 5-man squads that do a little bit more damage than you would expect.
It's not like a ton, but so like you're like, oh, it's a bunch of strength 3 flamers, who cares? And then it's like a bunch of strength 3 flamers with reroll wounds and +1 AP, and you're like, oh no, I actually lost 6 dudes out of my 10 when I was expecting to lose 4 dudes. And then I killed you back, and then you all came back to life. Yep. Now I have 4 dudes to deal with you again because you're back to life.
And they don't hit soft in combat, but realistically, this is just a billion units with OC2 that you can spam onto objectives and get back.
I shot you and killed you in Overwatch, and you came back to life, and so the identical unit dropped in the exact same spot, and now I can't Overwatch anymore. It's always fun.
Yeah. Neophyte hybrids, they get out of trucks. They have a billion OC, so the truck drives forward, takes your objectives away, and then they shoot some amount because the truck gives them reroll wounds.
Yep.
So they're also pretty dang good. We've got 5 Ridge Runners, 4 of them with lasers and spotters, and 1 with
the
mortar and spotter. Interesting, not the ignores cover one.
Oh, that's really
might have been a typo.
That might be a typo.
That might be a typo because I would assume you would take the ignore cover one.
Yeah, I feel like you would.
But maybe if you're firing a mortar from over the hill, I don't know. Maybe he takes spotter just to guarantee he hits. I don't know because you do need to hit. You do need to hit.
And then
2 units of 5 jackals that can scout, move forward, sticky objectives, and run away.
Yep, run away.
3 rock grinders that can get +1 or -1 damage.
So I was very impressed with the rock grinders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The list is very good. It's scared. He said he's scared of whiffing with the mortar. That was my thought.
So Nick actually did that.
He did.
He was like, I need to kill you. Oh no, I didn't hit with the mortar.
Yeah. No, that was my thought for why he didn't take it, was because he just wants to guarantee he hits with the mortar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guarantee.
The +1 hit 4 to 5 is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Very, very big. And I appreciate your concern. I don't believe we are in an evacuation zone.
No, we're pretty far inland. Yeah. But
we're in the middle of Florida, not on the coast. If we were on the coast, we'd be gone. We would not be doing the stream right now. All right. And last, but I mean, far from least.
Definitely not least.
As far from least as you can be, Liam VSL, tall Belgian man.
Yes. Won the Open and the Invitational with what I honestly might consider the most interesting list of the event.
Yeah, very, very wacky.
So we've seen a lot of CSM, and usually CSM fall into a Curse Cultists or some Pack-Bound or Renegade Raider with Abaddon, good stuff. Like, those are kind of the 2 things. And he's just like, I'm doing my own thing. I'm Liam VSL.
Yeah. And I don't think there's like a crazy secret to this list.
There's not.
I think it's just that it plays good, solid Warhammer.
Yeah.
And allows a player to have an answer to a variety of situations. And then as long you're not ever going to be caught out because you have answers and it's just good, solid Warhammer. And then that lets you express player skill.
So one thing what John said is it reminds him a lot of like an Ultramarines Gladius, where it's not like outstanding at any one thing, but it gives the pilot a lot of options. And a really, really good player will always know the best option to pick and will get the most benefit out of having a lot of options. Yeah,
I think the Ultramarines Gladius is a very good comparison because I do think that if a world-class player took Ultramarines Gladius to an event, they would do quite well with it.
I completely agree.
It gives you all the tools you need. And same thing here. So Veterans of the Long War, I know it gives you,
It gives like a pseudo oath
and then a bunch of hatred, basically.
Yeah, and then a bunch of really good stratagems.
Yeah.
Notably, Fight First and Armor Contempt.
Fight first if you are in combat with the unit that you have Oath of Hatred or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can switch Oath, and so you can use it to be like, hey, you're a really cool unit. If it charges anything, I'm going to fight first.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is really, that's neat. That's pretty neat. He's got Chaos Lord with, you're the Chaos Boy. What does this stuff do?
I haven't played with Tashbot, unfortunately. I'm not sure. I think he just hits harder.
Yeah, that's probably, I think he does just
I
hit
am
harder.
pretty sure it's like real wounds or something like that. It's like a minor damage increase.
All right, Cypher, who's
Very
insane.
good.
We have Fabius Bile, who is actually really good.
He's actually quite solid.
Fabulous Bill.
So basically he does like 4 things. So the first thing he does is he hits okay in combat. He's equivalent to like Chaos Lord in their not awesome turn.
Yeah. That sounds right. No, he's damage 3, right? So,
Yeah, he's like solid. The second thing is he blanks to save every turn. Third thing is he gives him +1 strength and toughness, which is a huge breakpoint on Chosen. And then the last thing is he comes with a little friend, and the little friend dies to like a railgun shot or something like that instead of a Chosen.
Yeah, if you wound with a melt-a-gun. Nope.
Yep.
No, you didn't. You killed the Surgeon Acolyte.
Yep.
Sometimes. I think it might get an invuln off of Fabius.
It might, I think.
I know that Grimaldus does.
Yeah.
Grimaldus gives his little homies a 5.
Chat says it's crit wounds on 5s for that Chaos Lord.
Okay. I mean, with a Demon Hammer, that's
pretty
not
solid.
bad.
That's quite
solid.
good, actually.
And it looks like he had 3 points. So
Yeah.
There you go. We got Huron Blackheart, who has a reactive move.
He also lets you redeploy, and he hits pretty hard. I quite like Huron Blackheart, actually.
Yeah, he's neat. He's 80 points. And then Lucius.
Yep, fights first.
Yep. So I assume that in like pure melee matchups, Lucius probably goes into like a bigger unit.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe he just loves Fabius Bile. I didn't actually watch the game into Brian's Orcs.
Fabius Bile also stands up.
Yes.
When he dies.
Yes, he does.
So,
I
yeah.
did watch his game into Innis where he took 2 multi-melta wounds,
Yeah.
died to the first one, stood back up, died to the second one because it's in medias res.
That's very
right?
funny.
It's in the middle of the activations.
Yes.
We have Occultist Mob, 5 Legionaries, 5 Legionaries, 5 Noise Marines, 5 Noise Marines. Decent amount of like mid-strength combat, decent, okay shooting.
Yeah, I mean, you got a Doom Siren and stuff. You can put him in Rhinos and...
Yeah, which he's got. He's got 2 Rhinos. So character plus Legionaries plus Noise Marines in a Rhino. Mm-hmm. Then got 2 Predator Destructors with las cannons and autocannons.
It's basically the point where you can't leave anything out in the open for free.
Yeah.
It's like not like a ton of shooting, but you can't like just like purely screen for distance.
Yes, for 280, he actually gets to clear. He actually gets to kill like medium-sized stuff.
Yeah.
Chosen, 5 Chosen, 10 Chosen. 10 Chosen is like not a bad unit for 250.
With Fabius Bile, toughness 5 Chosen.
Yeah. How much is Fabulous Blaze? Like 95?
Yeah, he's not that expensive. He's 85.
So that unit's 335.
That's a really good unit.
It's a very good unit.
Yeah.
Very good unit. We've got a unit 5 Chosen to go with
I think Lucius.
Or
the Chaos Lord.
The Chaos Lord, probably.
Yeah.
Then we got 2x2 Obliterators.
So one thing I was pointed out was that the Obliterators really like real hits because they shoot indirect.
Which, it's weird, this detachment can just do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oath of Moment's good, man.
It really is. Yeah. No.
It's also really good if all of your stuff has sustained or lethal.
Yes.
Which it does.
Yep.
Because it's CSM. So this is like, I don't think there's anything too crazy about this list. There's no secret combos. There's nothing like that. But it does give him...
Yeah. So like Nick did a podcast with Liam. I should be in the Art of War podcast, either out or coming out soon.
Yeah.
And the secret is just that Liam's really good at Warhammer and knows how to use all the various minor tools this list gives him.
Again, I think the perfect comparison is an Ultramarines Gladius.
Yeah.
There's no real frills to an Ultramarines Gladius.
No, it's just like really good.
It's just pretty good. And I know people think that it's not, like, because you just don't see it that often.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah.
Like, I've played into it a bunch. I've played with it a little bit. Like, it's a good, solid list. But it's not, like, if you were to make a graph of, like, all of the different avenues a list could be good at, right? The different things. It's not, like, there's no spikes in any one particular place. It's just
like,
a circle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
like Innis Wilson's is a list that I think is all frills.
Yeah.
Like it's really good, but a lot of its power comes from the fact that it's weird and it's unique and it has a ton of like off the wall tricks and it doesn't play Warhammer the way you're expecting it to. I think this list just plays Warhammer the way you're expecting it to, and it does that really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's
and
good.
also it was piloted by one of the best players in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that helps.
Definitely.
0-1 into Art of War, though. Well done, Quentin. All right.
Yeah.
No run back.
No. I'll see you at World this year, Liam.
Yeah, we're gonna see Liam. I mean, as long as he comes to WCW in like a month.
A month, yeah.
A month and a half.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a lot of fun. I hope I get a chance to play him. I've never played him.
He's really nice.
That I've talked to him a bunch. I've never gotten a chance to play him.
Yeah, I really like him a lot.
So.
Well, I believe that wraps up our stream.
I believe that does. I'm going to go home and set up sandbags.
I'm going to go do
my
the same
apartment.
thing. Yeah. Well, anyways, if you're in the path of the storm, stay safe and
Please do.
have a wonderful Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
See you all later.